Hello everyone, it's me again, MX Shu. So, in the last episode, we talked about the agreement between the blue and white parties to cooperate in the upcoming presidential election to usurp the DPP. In the agreement, the method to determine the presidential candidate would be based on comparing public poll results. And during those 3 long days before the poll results came out, I had to break away from Taiwan's political drama to calm my nerves by binge-watching some Korean soap operas. And guess what happened when the poll results were announced? Yeah. No consensus about the poll results. Why? So when the statisticians who represent each party met to examine the poll numbers, they realized that each party's definition of the term margin of error was different. According to the agreement, in each poll, if the white candidate did not beat the blue candidate by more than the margin of error for the poll, then it would be considered a win for the blue party. And remember what Google has taught us, using a sample of 1,000 voters has a margin of error of 3%. Meaning that, if the white candidate
柯文哲
doesn't beat the blue candidate
好友谊
by more than 3% in the poll when the sample size is 1,000 respondents, then the blue party wins the poll. The results from 9 public polls were released in the 10-day time frame from November 7th to 17th, and only 6 polls were accepted by both parties. The blue party claimed the result was 5-1, therefore the blue party won. The white party claimed the result was 3-3, a tie. It was Saturday morning when each party released their own announcement, explaining to the public their separate claims. And over that weekend, everyone in Taiwan was bombarded by media updates and compelled to quickly learn Statistics 101. It turns out that the blue party believes that the margin of error definition means the entire range between 3% above and 3% below the baseline, x-axis, instead of 3% above or 3% below. So when a poll sample size is 1,000 respondents, the margin of error range is plus and minus 3%. So from minus 3% to 3%, which is 6%. And so the blues think the white candidate Ko needs to beat the blue candidate Ho by more than 6% to win the poll. Seriously? Although many statistics experts came out to share their interpretations of the polls and tried to come to consensus, neither party would concede. What is interesting is that up until the agreement was signed on November 15th, when the term margin of error was discussed by all of the relevant public figures including the candidates, spokespersons, and commentators, everyone used 3% as the threshold to beat. So now I can't help but wonder, if the blue party had a different interpretation all along, why didn't they say something to clarify sooner? After that, on November 23rd, one day prior to the deadline to register for all presidential candidates, Terry Go, founder of Foxconn, invited both Ko and Ho to the Grand Hyatt Taipei in an attempt to resolve the fresh impasse. When Ho showed up, so did the other 2 blue players, Ma and Chu. Terry wanted all of the presidential candidates to first meet in a private Hyatt room and then announce the result of the meeting live to the press. Oh, and by the way, at this point in time, Terry was also running for president as an independent candidate. In response to Terry's invitation, the 3 blue players refused to enter the hotel room and insisted to only meet in public. So now we had 5 key players all sitting in front of the press, live streaming from a conference room in the Grand Hyatt Hotel. Thanks to YouTube, I was able to watch this incredibly awkward meeting live. In quick summary, this is what happened. The blue party asserted they won based on the terms of the agreement.
好友谊
Read a text message from
柯文哲
to the press. Ko said that's unbecoming of a presidential candidate to publicly read private messages. In response, Ho said you could have refused when I asked you if I could read a message from you to the press. After that, the Blue Party chairman dropped the mic and hurriedly left with an entourage of all the Blue players after being satirized by Terry's spokesperson that the poll results were questionable in the KMT primary election earlier in 2023. And so this is when the blue-white marriage ended. As a result, the next morning, after the smoke had cleared, respectively, each party registered their separate blue and white presidential candidates and running mates and then made separate public announcements. The short-lived blue-white marriage was absolutely over. And Terry announced that he was ceasing his campaign as an independent. In the next episode, I will talk more about the guy who rocked the boat, the prototypical atypical politician,
柯文哲.
No more statistics, I promise. Please stay tuned and thanks for watching.